Well, hello there. I'm so excited to be here with you today. My name is Amy Ressler, and we are going to spend the next half hour or so working on developing our imagination and sharing some stories and playing some games. So I'm excited to be here. I'm happy that you are here too. And I wonder if you think very often about your imagination and what that is and what that means. You know, the imagination is a very special way of thinking. Everybody has an imagination, but just like your muscles, if you don't use it, uh, then it doesn't get to be really strong. I bet you have a strong imagination because you use it all the time. It's a skill. You can call on it in different ways. So I've got a few imagination exercises for us to try, first of all, and get us warmed up and in the mood to have some fun together with stories and games. And the first thing I have for you today is a very special thing that I made this last night. I made one for each and every one of you. So I hope you're ready to come and get it. Here it is. Okay. Here it is. You see it? It's pretty great. Here, I'm going to hand it to you right through the screen. Okay, you got it? Pick it up. I've got my own right here, too. Okay, this is really wonderful stuff. It's exactly what you've always wanted, and it's bubbly. Yes, it is. So you have to be careful when you open it because it's going to make a lot of because it's kind of carbonated. All right, that's all open. Oh, didn't I tell you what it is? It's Giggle water. It is. It's Giggle water, but it's special Giggle water. Okay, it's your very favorite flavor. Okay, so open it up. Did yours make a sound too? Mine did. And everybody, take a little sip. Take a little sip of your Giggle water. Isn't that good? Mine's kind of like mango, pineapple-y. What does yours taste like? Yeah? Oh, delicious. Let's have another sip. Everybody take a sip. Oh, Giggle water makes you giggle. I bet you figured that out by now. Let's have another drink. That is some good stuff. I love it. I love it. Let's all have a good big drink of it. Everybody drink big. It's so funny. It just makes everything so funny. Oh my goodness. Another big swig, everybody. Oh no, it's almost gone. We better finish it off. All right, everybody, put it in there. Take it all. Let's slam it. Finish it off. Oh my goodness. I love that stuff. I hope you love it too. Woo. Oh my goodness. I bet you're laughing. I hope you're laughing. Oh my goodness. You know, the best thing about that magic Giggle water can that I gave you this morning is that it automatically fills itself back up again. So you be careful with that because, it could explode anytime that you're not paying attention. So be careful with it. Put it someplace safe. And anytime you need a good laugh, well, you just open up that Giggle water can. That's right. It automatically, magically fills itself back up again. And even better than that, you can share it. It's true. Oh, I'll show you how to share it. Okay. See, I've got mine. Hold yours up. Okay. And then to share it, you just put your hand around it like that. And look, I have two. If you did that, then you have two also. You can give one to somebody else. There. And then if you want another one, you got more. It's wonderful. You give give one to your friend or one to your folks. You can give one to the crabby guy down the street. You can give one to the guy who's shoveling your walk. You can save one for yourself for later. It's the best thing. It just keeps multiplying. So be very careful with that giggle water because you never know. You can spread it around. You can share it with everybody. And you can save it for when you need a good laugh. Okay? So how's your imagination? Is it warmed up? Did you warm up your imagination with that giggle water? That's what I gave it to you for. Okay, now we're going to play another game that has to do with things, okay? I have some things here, and I'm going to ask you to guess what they are, okay? I'm going to show you just a little bit of each one, and see if you can guess what it is. Okay, let's see. The first one I'm going to share with you is, let's see, I know, this one, okay? I'll show you just a little bit of it in the camera. You see it? Okay, I'm showing you just a little bit in the camera. What do you think that is? That looks like an icicle? No, it's not an icicle. What does it look like? What do you think that is? What is that? Not an icicle. It's not a prism. Oh, look at there. What do you think that is? Is it a comb? Did you guess it was a comb? You are right. It is a comb. Did you guess what that was? What did you imagine that was? I wonder. Okay, let's see. I've got a few more things here. Oh, here's one. It's one of my favorite things. Let's see. What do you think this is? That was my thumb. Here it comes. What is that? What do you think that is? Oh my goodness. What could that possibly be? All kinds of dots on it. What is it that has all kinds of dots on it? It's kind of a fun color. Oh, and there's a bigger dot. It isn't what you think it is. What could that possibly be? Huh. Look at there. One of my favorite things. And this time of year, we always get these. Oh, what did you think it was? It's grapefruit. Do you like grapefruit? I do. They're a little bit sour, a little bit sweet. Ruby red grapefruit is the best kind. That was a weird thing that it looked like at the beginning, wasn't it? A weird shape to it, a weird color, and a weird texture. Okay, let's see. I've got another thing to share with you. I bet you're getting good at this. This is something that you probably see every day. Okay, really common. Okay, here it comes. What is that? Every day. You have some of this every day, probably. What could that be? Sounds interesting. Texture. Interesting color. What could that be? Oh my goodness. Is it? What has a surface like that? It's not the moon. Did you think I brought you the moon? I did not bring you the moon. Now you know what it is. I brought you a piece of bread. You probably have bread every day. This is wheat bread. When I was a kid, I didn't like wheat bread. I only liked white bread. But I grew up and I learned about how good wheat bread is. Do you have bread every day? A lot of people do. Some people can't have any bread. I feel bad for them, but they can't have my bread. Okay, I've got another one here. What is this? Completely different thing. What is that? What do you think that is? It's shiny. Shiny. It is a tube. It's like a Christmas ornament. It's not a Christmas ornament. It's a tube of lipstick. Yep. It's a tube of lipstick, all shiny. What do you think it was? Sounds so pretty. Here's my lipstick. And things for you. This one, I bet you know what this is by the sound of it. What makes that sound? I wonder, what do you think makes that sound? I bet you guessed this one really quickly. Probably. A little bit at first. There it is. A little bit. What makes that sound? What is that? Oh, there's words on this one. It's 206G, whatever that is. 7.25 ounce. Bottom of it is yellow. Yellow and blue. Yellow and blue. There's no artificial dyes, no artificial preservatives, no artificial flavors. No. Do you know what that is? Now you know what it is. It's macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese is a good thing to have on a cold day like today. Today it's snowing and it's cold where I am. Let's see, a couple more things. Then this one makes sound too, but probably not that common. Maybe you have one of these. This was one of my brother's favorite things when he was a kid. And now it's one of my favorite things. I like to share it. It's red and round. Is it a tomato? No. Is it, what do you know, a ball? Not exactly. What is that? It's a happy apple. Look at that, it's a happy apple. And it makes some very pretty sound. Do you have a happy apple? Have you ever seen one of these before? The great toy for a little bitty guy. That's a fun thing. Let's see, I have one last thing to share with you. This one is kind of funny, but I only bring it out once a year. It's coming up. Here it is. What's this? What is this? No, it's not a sock. Who said it was a sock? No, it's not a ball. It's black and fuzzy. And it's a, is that, there's a strange, it's a face. It's a face, and there's a carrot, and look at that. This is my snowman. I bring him out once a year, this time of year. I used to make snowman out in the snow. Maybe you will do that today. This one sings. Let's see if he still sings. He might need a new battery. You gonna sing for me? He sang for me this morning. Aw. See if I can shut him off. Oh, he doesn't want to shut off. There we go. So actually, my dog used to really be freaked out by that. But did you guess what that was? I bet you didn't guess what that was. That's snowman. That was a hard thing to guess. Yes. Um, I I think that I would like to tell you one of my favorite stories. Okay, this is a story that is about two really good friends. I hope you have some really good friends. I miss hanging out with some of my friends. These days are not days when we get to be together with friends very much. But these two friends were unlikely friends. Maybe you've heard of them. This is a story about Pig and his best friend, Bear. Yes. Pig and Bear were best friends. They did so many things together. They even went to visit each other. Sometimes Bear would come over to Pig's house early in the morning and they would have breakfast together because Pig made the best donuts. He made such good donuts that Bear said to him many times, "Oh, you could sell these donuts. These are so good you could go into business for yourself." Absolutely wonderful. And Pig liked that. Sometimes Pig went over to Bear's house, maybe sometimes for lunch, and Bear would make baked potatoes. Bear made the best baked potatoes. He actually grew them himself in his garden in the back. He did. And those potatoes were so good. Sometimes they would put butter on them, and then they were absolutely wonderful. Well, sometimes they would play at Pig's house. They liked to play hide and seek because there were lots of places to hide in the straw at Pig's place. And sometimes at Bear's house, they would build a blanket fort because they're so cozy in Bear's house. They loved to build a blanket fort. And sometimes when it was snowy like today, they would make a snow fort. Did you ever make a snow fort? They loved to play together. In the evenings, they would get together and they would play board games. Yes, they did. They played checkers and sometimes they played chess. They played Yahtzee, and they played Parcheesi and let's see what else. They played a game called Life. They played a game called Life. And sometimes if they were feeling really fancy and feisty, they would play a French game called Milborn. And that was a fun game for them to play because then they get to say things like roulé and coufferé and ooh la la. But that was when they were feeling very fancy. Well, you know, one evening, Bear and Pig were playing games together. And Pig thought to himself, you know, Bear is such a good friend. I would like to give him a present. But he didn't have any money. So he thought, what could I get for Bear? What could I get for Bear? He couldn't think of anything. And surprisingly, Bear was thinking the same thing about Pig. He thought, I would like to give Pig a present too, but what could I possibly give to Pig? Well, he reached in his pocket and he felt in his furry pocket. Did you know bears had pockets? Oh yeah. He reached into his pocket, and in his furry pocket, all he had was one nickel. That's not much money to get a present for my best friend Pig. And at the same time, they had the same idea. Because Bear had told Pig so many times, the donuts you make are so good, why you could sell them and you could go into business for yourself, selling those delicious donuts. That was what he was thinking. And Pig had said to Bear so many times, these fluffy, delicious potatoes are so wonderful. Why, you could go into business selling these fluffy potatoes. I bet you lots of folks would buy these potatoes. You could make a lot of money. Bear was thinking about that too. So then it was decided. They decided the next morning they were going to go to market and sell their goods. Bear was going to sell his baked potatoes, and Pig was going to sell his donuts. So they went home to their individual homes, and all night long, Bear worked on making a wheelbarrow full of potatoes. He dug up all the best potatoes that he could find in his garden, and he cleaned them off really, really well. And then he poked holes in them so they wouldn't explode when they were cooked, you know. And then he slathered the outside of each potato with butter, and he wrapped it in tin foil, and then he cooked them. He baked those potatoes at a low temperature for a long time until they were just right. Meanwhile, over at Pig's house, Pig was making donuts. He washed his paws, his hoofs, and he got out a big bowl and he put in all the necessary ingredients, flour and yeast and sugar and everything that it takes to make really good donuts. And he mixed them up and he rolled out the dough and he cut out the donuts and he fried them. And when they were done, they were so delicious and light and fluffy. He frosted them all pink because pink was his friend Bear's favorite color. That was his favorite color. So early the next morning, Bear had a wheelbarrow full of potatoes, and Pig had a wagon full of pink frosted donuts. And they met in the street outside their house, and together they walked to market. And as they walked to market, they thought about how much money they would make, how wonderful it was going to be to go into business and be businessmen and have plenty of money and all that good stuff, and how proud they would be of their work. So they got to market, and Pig set up a table with all of his donuts on one side of the street, and Bear set up a table with all of his potatoes from his wheelbarrow on the other side of the street, and then they waited for trade. Well, early in the morning, Bear thought to himself, my good friend Pig has a business right across the street. Why, I think a good thing to do as a good friend would be to go to and be his first customer of the day. So Bear walked across the street and he went to Pig and he said, look at all these delicious donuts. They look wonderful. I think I would like to try a donut, please. How much is a donut? Pig looked at all the donuts and he said, one donut is 5 cents. Well, it just so happens that I have 5 cents, thought Bear, and he pulled out his nickel and he put it down on the table. And he said, one donut, please. And Pig gave him this beautiful pink donut, and Bear ate that donut. It was delicious. He said, thank you, Pig. That was a wonderful donut. And Bear went back over across the street to his table. Well, there was Pig with the first money that he'd ever made. He had a nickel. This is wonderful, 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 he thought. Well, the best thing to do when you have something like that to celebrate is to go to your friend's place and practice trade there. So he went across the street to his friend Bear's stand where he had all these wonderful baked potatoes, shiny silver foil on each one of them. And he said, I believe I would like to have a baked potato for my breakfast, please. How much is a baked potato? And Bear said, well, baked potato is 5 cents. Pig said, well, it just so happens that I have 5 cents. And he gave that nickel to Bear. Bear gave him a baked potato. And when he opened up the foil, ooh, it was so buttery and fresh and still warm. Pig ate that potato right then and there. Oh, it was just delicious. And he said, thank you very much, Bear. See you later. And then Pig went back over to his stand. Bear was so excited that he had made his first sale. He said, I need to celebrate. I'm going to celebrate. He took his nickel. He said, if I could get anything at the market here, what would I like? He said, well, that donut that I had was really, really good. I think I'm going to have another one. So he went back over across the street and he asked Pig for, could I have one donut, please? And he put the nickel down and Pig gave him his donut and he ate that donut. It was so delicious and it was pink, his favorite color. He was just beside himself. So then Bear went back across the street to his place where he had all these potatoes to sell. And by that time, Pig was thinking about, oh my goodness, that potato was one of the best potatoes I've ever eaten in my life. He said, you know what? I think it deserves another one. It tastes like more. As my mom used to say, it tastes like more. So he took that nickel and he went back across the street to where Bear had his wheelbarrow full of potatoes. And he said, I would like nice buttered potato, please. Oh, why, certainly, said Bear. And Bear gave Pig a potato and he opened up the tinfoil and he ate it. Very good. Thank you, Bear. And Pig went back across the street to his place. And later on that day, Bear thought, wow, that was the best donut ever. I think I'm going to have another one for lunch. And he went back across the street and he bought a pink donut. And that nickel went back and forth across the street all day long until finally Pig had sold all of his donuts except for one. And Bear had sold all of his potatoes except for one. But the sun was setting and the market was closing, so they knew it was time to go home. So Pig put his donut in his basket, or in his wagon, and Bear put his potato in his wheelbarrow, and they met up in the middle of the street, and they went on home to their different houses with having sold almost everything, and thinking to themselves, my goodness, what wonderful businessmen we are. We are really, really good at sales. My goodness. Well, that night, Pig went over to Bear's house and he took that last donut along as a present because he thought, I don't have money, but I have something that I know that Bear will really like. And when he got there, Bear said, oh, you know what, Pig? I have one thing left and I have this for you. And Bear gave the last potato to Pig and Pig gave his last donut to Bear. And then they sat down and they played. They played Parcheesi and Yahtzee and chess. And you know what? They were feeling pretty fancy. So they even got out their mule board and they played that French card game too. And they said things like roulette and coup ferret and ooh la la. And Pig and Bear, they knew that the best thing isn't presents, but presence. To be in the presence of good friends and good families and people that you like and people that you love. So Bear and Pig, good friends to this very day. Good businessmen? Maybe not so much, but that's okay. They have each other. So that's the story of Bear and Pig. I hope you like that story. That's one of my very favorite stories. I have something here that a friend gave me. This box. She said, don't open it. Don't open it until December 25th. I want to open it so bad. I wonder, what is in there? What do you think is in there? It doesn't rattle, doesn't make any sound at all. What do you think it is? If this was your present, what would you like it to be in there? Maybe it's a crown for my head for those days when I feel like I need to be queen of the world. Maybe not. Maybe it's a pair of warm socks for those days when, like today, it's really cold. It snowed for the first time today here. Like really snowed. Like it's like, could go out and make a snowman, like my Manamanop guy there to make a big old snowman. Maybe it's socks. I don't know. It doesn't sound like music. It doesn't sound like my happy apple. So I don't think there's music in it. Maybe it's a sandwich. Oh, but I don't think she would give me a sandwich and tell me not to open this box until December 25th. That sandwich wouldn't be very good by then if it was a sandwich. Would it be? I don't know. I'll just have to sleep on it, see if I can figure out what it is, and enjoy using my imagination to try to figure out what it might be. You ever use your imagination to try to figure out what some things like that might be? Do you tell stories to each other? These days are really, really good days for using your imagination. Reading and creating things, making art at home. I am so glad that I had this opportunity to spend some time with you and to share a story with you and to share some imagination games with you. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope that you also use your imagination today. Maybe you could tell a story. Tell a story to some of your family. Make up a story about some things. Put something in a box and see if you can imagine what's in there. That could be a lot of fun. Thank you for your attention and for playing with me today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.